Hello again, and welcome to Along the Rock, our podcast that pays homage to the people of the Sauk Valley and the river that runs through it. My name is Mark Morris. I'll be your host today. Joining me, special guest Joan Johnson from Tampico. Joan, thanks for coming up. It's a lot cooler up here than it is outside.
That's correct. That's right.
We can enjoy it while it lasts.
Well, sure. Good.
Tampico's 150th birthday. That seems almost impossible.
Well, it is. It's all going to be here very soon.
Yeah. Now everybody around these parts, I know, knows that former President Ronald Reagan was born in Tampico.
Correct.
I don't think everybody in the wider world may know that because he always claimed Dixon as his hometown.
Correct.
His boyhood home.
Correct.
So what do you have in Tampico that people, if they want to know more about Reagan and his history, what do you have that would concentrate on that?
Well, we have the actual place where he was born. He was born on Main Street in an upstairs apartment, and we have that restored to look very much like it was at the time the family was living there. And the building where his father worked as a general store, that's across the street. It's the break room now,
Okay.
but we acknowledge that is where Jack Reagan did his business as well.
And at that time, he was a shoe salesman?
He was specially trained for shoes, but he was a regular salesman, and he was a great salesman for Mr. Pitney, working in the Pitney General Store. He even did buying for Mr. Pitney as well.
Yeah, I would imagine, being a Reagan, that he'd probably be real charming.
Yes, he could tell a good story. And he was
down to earth.
Yes, he was a great Irishman.
Yeah.
And yes.
Okay. And then there was, and I don't know, you could tell me if it's still there or not. Is there a restaurant next door or two doors down? Maybe is it from the birthplace museum?
Unfortunately, the Dutch Diner was closed, and so there's a wonderful insurance building there now.
Okay.
But we still have people asking about the Dutch Diner pies.
Yeah.
But
they were great.
But no, unfortunately, they're gone.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to something else then. Ronald Reagan is not the whole story of Tampico. So tell us what else you've got coming up and when.
Well, J.W. Glassburn was the one who originated Tampico. He had the railroad come through on some of his farm property and donated that to have the town of Tampico. And so we are actually celebrating 150 years ago when he did that. So our Sesquicentennial has been, we've been working on it, had a big opening back in February, and now the special occasion is going to be this coming July, starting on July 17th and 18th and 19th and 20th. So
4 days. Huh?
Yes.
Wow.
Well.
A lot of volunteers?
Yes. It takes a lot of people to put this all together. The Elevate Tampico group is the younger group, which has been putting on the annual yearly celebration with fireworks and such. And so they're behind it, along with a group working with the Sesquicentennial from the Historical Society. So we're all working together to get this to really come together.
Okay. I know with events like this, and Tampico's, I'm sure, is better than many of them. But one of the challenges is getting the new blood involved.
Yes.
And how has that gone?
It's great. As I say, this Elevate Tampico group has come through, and they're taking over for us oldsters, and it's great to see them working together and putting things together. Not quite like we might have done, but
well, that's okay though.
No, it really is. The newer ideas, the newer ways to go is super, and we appreciate every bit that they're able to do.
Are there some other historic landmarks or buildings in Tampico that you'll give tours of or just point out?
Just basically point out, it's called Reagan Park now. It's kitty corner across the street from Casey's, and there's an old Civil War monument there, and we do have a statue honoring Ronald Reagan in the park as well. so people can go down there and when we put that statue in, we sold bricks, and people bought a brick and put their name on it, and so they can go down and see if they can find their name or some of the family's names too. So there's that there.
Well, that's always a good idea for fundraising, which of course is part of the deal.
Yes, that's for sure.
Is there any admission cost to get into the festival?
No, not basically. It's all free. We've got Saturday morning. We're celebrating our Tampico High School alumni. The school closed. School was open from 1886 and closed in 1986, and so anyone who had anything to do with going to the school or anything, we're having a brunch on Saturday morning, the 19th, to get together and let all the old people who used to go there get together and say hi. So that's the big deal there.
Yeah, I'll bet. A lot of pictures of that. A lot of times they post pictures of the various classes from from time to time.
When the school closed, we took all of the graduation pictures, and we have them on display in the Historical Society. So the Historical Society will be open all the time during these special days as well.
Okay.
So people can get in and see those.
You can check them out there.
Yes.
Has the school changed much? I know it's been in since '86 it was open, but how is the appearance?
There's nothing there anymore.
Okay.
They tore down the building that was put in 1991. No, that's wrong, 1921.
21, okay.
And so that came down, and then they did have the gymnasium, and they've added the elementary school, which is brand new. It's all in the same place where the old building was.
Yeah, that's even though they closed in '86, that's still a long history. '86 to '96 or to '80? No, I'm getting confused.
Whatever.
Yeah, closed in '86 and had
86,
opened in
right.
1886, right?
18, no, actually, it goes clear back in the late 1800s. But when they built the building that we were used to going to was in 1921.
Okay.
But that building is also gone.
Yeah.
But we've got a lot of things going just to celebrate this. We're going to start, we've got a fishing derby that goes on.
Okay.
And that starts on July 12th when they can register. And then it's not until on the 20th that the prizes are awarded. So there's different prizes for how big and all sorts of things. But the kids have plenty of time to go to the canal.
Okay.
Which is where Ronald Reagan learned to swim, but it is better for fishing
Good
now.
thing that he did, too.
Yes, right. He got all of that in. And then on Thursday night, we have a bingo games, which at our Tampico community building, and it's just a fun time. So we have little prizes, but then after the prizes are gone, then we do takeaway. So as we keep doing the games, why then you can maybe take the prize away from somebody else, and it doesn't get bad, but it's just a little fun evening for the people. Sure. And the kids then are having a dance at the time while the rest of us are bingoing. Okay. So that's a neat time. Nice. Very nice. Then Friday we've got we're going to have fireworks, and the last 2 or 3 years we've had fireworks, and they've been super. And it's out at the Ball Diamond, and so there will be some live music out there as well, and food. The Ball Diamond concession stand will be having food, and so that starts. I'm not sure, in the evening, like 6:30 or something, and then the fireworks start around 8:30.
Yeah, and that time of the year, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Gotta wait till it gets dark.
Yeah. Saturday we've got lots of really interesting things going on. We've got garage sales starting, and of course our brunch over at Deer Valley Country Club. And then there's a bake sale. It starts at 9:30, and that's at the break room. And a car cruise. Now, the last few years, this car cruise is really nice. They bring
People love their classic cars.
some really nice coming in. So that's going to be on Main Street between 10 and 2. And then and something new is arm wrestling. That's going to be on Main Street. And the registration starts at 11, and then they'll be doing that between 12 and 4 in the afternoon. And then we've been having beer gardens almost every year since our centennial, 50 years ago.
Okay.
And so this will be on Main Street. And between 7 and 9, the band is called Radio Silence. And then at 9:30, a different band called Three on the Tree starts in. Now that is, you have to have a ticket to get in for the beer garden.
Are they from the area or?
Yes, they're
big
from
city?
the area, but those are the names of the group that's coming. And then, of course, Sunday, we start out with a fireman's breakfast, which is always delicious, and they'll have a touch of truck for the kids. And then antique tractor park and parade. That's the 9 is when they start showing their tractors, the antique tractors, and that's on Main Street. And also a farmer's market and artesian market is on Main Street between 9 and 2. And then between 10 and 2, there's a petting zoo for people who like to see all the little
Kids
animals.
love that.
They do.
just love
do.
it. Yeah.
And there's Paint the Town on Main Street. That's between 10 and 2. So they have the blocks that kids can paint, do whatever they want to in those blocks. And at 11, there is a kiddie fun run. And that's really fun. They have their races, and sometimes the kids want to, instead of running fast, they want to look and see who's coming behind them, and that's always cute. And then at noon, then they will give the fishing derby awards on Sunday afternoon, and then there's an ice cream social at the Methodist Church between 1 and 4, and the big parade. That starts at 2, and they line up at the elementary school on the east end of town.
Okay.
And they've got a bags tournament going on. And then at 3 o'clock, the 50-50 drawing will take place. And so they're selling 50-50 tickets right now. We are working real hard with the Sesquicentennial, and 50 years ago for the centennial, we put out a book. And so we're following along with the book. And we will be printing a new one cut with some of the things from here, plus the addition that's taken place in the next 50 years from 1975 until now.
That's a thick book.
It is, and it tells the history of how Tampico started, and the fact that this one says it's Tampico down but not out. Tampico's had, we had a local newspaper called the Tampico Tornado. Well, Tampico did have 2 or 3 tornadoes that pretty well did a lot of damage. And then also almost destroyed by 2 different fires. So within just a few days after those things happened, people were right back at work building the town back up. So we have suffered different things. Of course, more recently, we've had some more tragedies with automobile accidents and such. But they call it Tampico Strong, and they are. They keep working towards that.
You have to be, especially if if you're that size.
Yes.
Shall we say?
Yes. In one of the tornadoes, they told that no one was hurt, but they did find a baby in a tree limb after everything calmed down. They thought they had lost this baby, and they found the baby, and it was okay.
Wow.
So those winds can destroy.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
But getting back to our Tampico tornado, we have all the copies of the tornado, and I call it an early Facebook, because people would call in and tell that they had company, and
I just got back from Europe.
Yeah, or California. I can't believe these people years back in the late 1890s and early 1900s. They would just drive out to California to visit, and And, you know, it's sometimes hard for me to run from Tampico to Sterling. And
Yeah, that's quite a commute there.
yes.
Well, it sounds, as I say, it sounds like you've used just about every opportunity in town to, turn it into something special. For those who don't know, I think Tampico is still the only, Tampico, Illinois, of course, is still the only state to have had a president born here.
Yeah, we're the only, yes, the only president that was born in Illinois.
Yeah. Which
Yes.
seems hard to believe, but
Yes.
since so many have so many Illinois connections.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
But,
with Grant and Lincoln, but they both were born in different places in
Yep.
Illinois.
Is there a presence online where this information is also being put?
A good part of it is listed under the Tampico Area Historical Society.
Okay, that's the best spot.
Yes.
Okay.
And we have Janae Blackert, who has been able to fill in for a couple of absences at the Historical Society, and she's doing a wonderful job. And the library closed. It was right next to the Historical Society. The library closed, and so we are putting displays in the old library, and it's coming along real well. So hopefully for the days, the Friday and Saturday at least, there will be tours in the Historical Museum and little items going on outside if the weather is good, as well as our farm machinery building too, which is antiques.
Great. All right. Thanks, Joan Johnson, for coming up, and also like to give a thanks to our crew here for making this show possible. I'm Mark Morris. Hope you can join us next time and all the times thereafter along the rock.